I'm Cathleen Edith Groves, and I was born near Chichester on a farm, and then I met my husband when the war was over, and we got married, and we came over to Eastbourne to live because my father-in-law was a well-known builder, and he built the Hydney, which the Groves still have got, and other properties round about. Well, I've been in Eastbourne for nearly 60 years, and I came here about, must be 59, and I noticed there's a terrific difference when you go around. When we came all those years ago, there weren't the roads filled with houses, but now everywhere you go, there seems to be houses being built, and there's a lot down the road near the hospital, fresh lot being built, I see, on a terrifically big plot. Well, the pavements everywhere there never used to be, and of course there's row upon row of houses, roads that were just ordinary roads in the old days, and now they're this big housing estates. Yeah, before it got burnt down, it was just quite a nice pier sort of thing. We used to go on it now and again. And as you know, we were driving along the front in our coach when the driver said the pier's on fire. That was the start of it, strangely enough. And of course it was on the television that night and all next day. Nobody seemed to have lost their lives. Awesome. Yeah, because we've got a coach here, our own coach. Right. And we go out in it, you see. And about every other day, always go somewhere. And, we happened to go along the front, and it hadn't been going long, the fire. So we saw it at the start, sort of thing. Yes, we went on it the other day. They took us on to have tea there, I couldn't believe it. And the tea room's all been done out. It's beautiful. We've got patterned carpet all over the floor, and it seems to have got nice china, and of course they got no end of decorations up, I suppose because it's just been opened. No, it was okay. I recommend it to anybody. It's quite big, actually. It's quite surprising. Milk the cows. You see, we had to do something. They come running after you, wanting to know you. Everybody's got to do something. And so they came out, and what are you doing for work, war work, so forth and so on. And my mother said, she works on the farm. What do you do on the farm? They wanted to know this, that and the other. And they said, do you work all day? I said, no. I says, I go out for a ride in the afternoons because I got a horse. And they wanted to know how many hours this, that and the other. They wanted to know every bloody thing. Anyway, we pushed them off in the end. And they wanted me to wear a uniform, and I wouldn't. I remember that. I wasn't going to wear their breeches and pullovers. It got me own. Oh, dear. And so anyway, we got bombed. Ours was only a nice little village with houses going through Main Street. And about 6 o'clock at night, we were in the sitting room because we lived in a big house. And all of a sudden, we heard the whines. And then a terrible row. You never know anything like it. And they dropped 2 bombs. One could have been just over there. And the Germans were trying out new bombs. One was, when it touched the ground, it exploded straight away. That was it. and the bigger one made a crater in the middle of our field. And it was about, it was 60 foot deep. It could have been. It was a long way down, and they dropped it right in the centre of 4 fields, so it mucked up getting in any of the fields. But it was a colossal bomb, and 5 people died instantly in that. When the little bomb dropped, it explodes practically before it touches the floor, and it killed old couple and a young couple with children, and a couple of other old people, and it was quite horrific sort of thing at the time, as you can imagine. And people, some of them were on bicycles coming back from Chichester, and they came. I think my father went out. He was a policeman, war work one, and he went and brought some in. They didn't like to go home, and they couldn't, because you couldn't get down the road. The road was completely blocked with stones and bricks of all the houses. You wouldn't believe it, you really wouldn't. Anyway, they came in, Mum gave them tea and one thing and another. And I don't know how they got home in here, I really don't. As I said, all our windows blew out. Funny thing is, the windows blew out and the doors blew in. It was quite bad at the time. That was, and then I kept working on a farm, milking the cows, making hay. Oh, and of course, the biggest thing of all was, of course, I had got a horse. And I used to go out riding every afternoon, and I should go up on the downs and all up the lanes, and of course up the lanes practically everywhere there were fields and tents of soldiers. There were Nova Scotia, there was American, another lot, English, another lot, Polish. We had them all round everywhere. I could tell you some funny things, but I better not. And it was quite interesting. I could have had any boyfriend I wanted, as you can imagine. And it was quite interesting. We used to go to the local dances, about a mile or more away. We used to walk across the fields to get to the hall. And there would be American soldiers there and Canadian or whatever you want, sort of thing, whatever was in at the time. It was quite interesting, it really was. You learned such a lot just talking to them. It was okay, for a youngster's point of view anyway. And then the war went, things got better, and some people moved in up the road, and that's when I met my husband. And we got together and then got married, and after a bit we came over here to live because that's where the work was. And now he's gone after about 50 years, I suppose. And that's that, Yes, I'm 89 now, worse luck. I can't do much about it, so I have to put up with it. But I'm quite happy in this home. It's very good. They look after you well. It's not boring. There's always something to do, somewhere to go. There's always some amusement. And yeah, I think it's a jolly good place.